members said, you actually could have taken that bill as it is and start to work on it and give it any name you want to give it. If it's appropriation bill number 2, an amendment bill, a supplementary bill, you had the right to give it any name if they wanted to work with it. So really what you are saying is the continuation of the politics between the National Assembly, particularly interest groups in the National Assembly that have issues with the executive, and of course the executive. So there is no real substance in the reason for rejecting the bill other than the politics behind it, because the bill could have been dealt with, they could have changed anything they wanted to change, but they felt, of course, using the power that they have to do what they did. So it's up to the executive to react to that very quickly and say, okay, what do you want now? You want an amended bill or a supplementary bill? It's a very simple procedure. We change the name of the document, we bring it back, and then you get to work. So I think that should take a day or two if the executive on their own side quickly does what needs to be done.
Okay, but we do know for a certainty that this politics, this impasse, has more than its own fair share of consequences on the economy and the citizens. Could you just highlight some of these for us?
Well, the point is really the individual members of the National Assembly know that the economy is suffering because of their actions. From the petroleum industry bill to how they've been dealing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, with this budget itself. They know that. They certainly know that. They live in this country. They are elected to work for these people, for the people of this country. But essentially, they want to play the politics first before looking at these very important interests of the people that you are talking about. It's clear that for them, the politics is very important. They've got to play out the politics, show their power as a National Assembly, and impress on the executive that they actually have power to do what they are doing, and for the executive to know that they cannot be taken for granted. So you have this ding-dong going on, and as you have heard Senator Emodi tried to do, being a former legislator herself, to appeal to her colleagues that, look, let's tone down this politics. The people are suffering. We ourselves as politicians, we know it's a game. We are playing a game, but at some point we have to stop this game and really face the issue of saving the issues, matters that are on the table that needs to be addressed.
Yes, because we know for a certainty that it's going to affect our GDP growth. Like the minister says, the economy should grow by as much as 6.5%. This year, and the IMF and some other international agencies are projecting 7%. So this will definitely stifle growth.
The members of the National Assembly, they know this. They know, for example, that we could have been growing now by about 8-9% if the PIB was approved, say, 2 years ago. They know, for example, that if they empowered the economy by ensuring that the budget goes more for capital items, perhaps the economy will be growing at about 8%. They have all these facts. They have a lot of research that supports the work they're doing. But it's a choice that they are making, that we have got to play politics. We've got to show the executive that we have the power. This is just unfortunate, but this is what is happening.
Well, let's take a look at one of the issues I know that has happened. That they actually allege that the executive has alleged that massive cuts in the appropriation bill was seen. For instance, the Shopee budget was cut from about 27 billion naira to 9 billion naira. Personnel cuts across all MDAs were also cut, and about 57 billion naira was cut in capital allocations. Is there something to worry about?
Yeah, because again, if you look at those cuts, the Shopee was supposed to help graduates who have no jobs, to help women and children, to help agriculture, to help infrastructure. These are core areas of the economy that you will think that ordinarily the National Assembly will support. But this is what they feel that they should do it. And you will know that they have not cut anything about their own benefits. Nothing about the National Assembly benefits have been touched. As big as they are, in spite of all the uproar about the kind of benefits they get as members of the National Assembly, they have not touched anything. So it's the same politics that is going on. that, look, we have the power, we can decide where you spend money, whether it is in the interest of the people or not. We are the National Assembly. We must decide what happens. So there has to be some engagement, which Senator Modi keeps trying to do, to say, look, let's play this politics in a manner that also enables everyone to serve the people. We are all elected to do this. Let it not be a private war between the National Assembly and the executive.
Now let's take a look at the budgeting process as a whole. Some have even said that a law should be passed as regards how the budget should be implemented and all of that. And then there have also been calls that the budgeting process has not been properly suitable for our dispensation, either, especially at the federal level. But could you just give us a general assessment of the process of budgeting under this democratic dispensation?
No, the budgeting process has no problem at all.
Okay.
It is the intention of people, what is in the minds of people, what is in the minds of the assembly members, for example. What do they really want? Do they want to pass a budget very quickly and let the executive implement it in a manner that is implementable for the benefit of the people? Or do they want to pass a budget that meets their own desires? The executive brings in the budget usually September, October every year, in the last 3 years. That gives you 3 months between October and December to deal with it at the National Assembly. Do all your hearings, get everyone to look at it, make your amendments. By this 3rd or 4th week of December, a clean appropriation bill should pass to the president.
For assent.
The president should give his assent early in January or perhaps the last week of December if possible. That is possible within the existing framework. So there's nothing wrong with the process. But the question you now address is when it gets to the National Assembly in September, October, what happens? Perhaps for 1 month, the Assembly is on recess, it comes back, and then it sets up committees to look at them. And then you have this long chain of hearings. All ministers, the chief executives of parastatals, they have to come there and defend their budgets. And again, those things are like soap operas. Rather than addressing the key issues, it's on TV. Everybody is trying to make a point about which minister did not arrive on time, which minister did not come. The key issues are played out in a manner that is designed to show that the National Assembly are really working to ensure that the budget gets passed. But it doesn't get passed until, again, December or early January.
Now, we do know for a certainty that unspent funds by MDAs, as ministries, departments, and agencies, get returned to government coffers at the end of the fiscal year. This is the second half of the year beginning. The budget has It's been 7 months since it was passed. And we know that if we don't get funds now, or whatever time the funds get released, we're not going to be able to achieve all the developments or the infrastructural developments or the economic growth we have been projecting, which means again that we're at a stalemate, so to speak. We're doing 1 step forward, 10 steps backward. We're not achieving any progress, real progress in developments or job creation or poverty reduction, as the case may be. Are we going to keep seeing this over and over again? Bearing in mind that our unemployment figures seem to be rising, but then again, we seem to be having good figures on the papers that says we're growing exponentially in terms of resources and the likes of it, but this is not translating to the average man on the street. So how are we going to be expecting that this will affect next year's budget? Because next year's budget we'll soon start talking about the 2014 appropriation bill, but we're still having a stalemate, a hangover on the 2013 budget. So it's like 1 step forward, 20 steps backward.
Well, there is a genuine concern on the part of the National Assembly and on the public about the pace at which the executive releases capital budgets after it has been approved. Because after it has been approved, the executive is supposed to release in every quarter certain amounts to ensure that implementation is on track. There is a genuine concern about that process of releasing is sometimes too slow. That's a very genuine concern. The executive has the explanations that they have to go through the due process office to check the procurement process, to check that there are proper controls and you don't have excesses that used to be in our system. But that concern is very genuine. We need to increase the capacity of